So we moved into a new house recently, and I've got a nice big dedicated shop space, and it's awesome. But one of my issues is like, it's used for everything: storage, camping supplies. I've got gardening supplies over here. I still have my lawnmowers in here and stuff. So I want to find a solution to get that stuff out of here, because once I start doing woodworking and things, everything just ends up covered in dust. And I don't want to have to clean all this stuff off before we go camping. And so I was looking for storage solutions. Let me show you what I found. So this is the back wall of my shop and next to my toolbox here. And I discovered that behind this wall over here was a big open dead space. And so I cut a doorway, and look at all this space. That area right there is 26 square feet. And then I've got a little walkway here too. For right now, I'm just have a single stud. I put in a header. But you can see this is just a little tiny wall to fill in. It's not supporting anything. There's no weight on this because I've got the floor joists up here. So for right now, just to get stuff out of the garage and into this space, I'm building shelves for this area. So I've got some lumber here. Lumber prices are crazy right now. So I decided to go with 2x3s instead of 2x4s because it's about half the price. So, and this should be plenty strong for what I'm gonna store on it: sleeping bags and camping supplies and empty coolers. So let's get started. Okay, I've sorted through my lumber. I've decided I want to use these for my actual shelves. I've got 4 separate 2x3s over there that I'm going to use for the uprights. This particular shelf is going to be 5.5 feet wide and 16 inches deep. So I've got 10 2x3s here. This is going to get me 5 shelves with cross supports. So okay, so I've got my 10 pieces cut to 66 inches long. I've got another 10 pieces cut to 13 inches long. I've also got 4 other pieces here cut to 16 inches long. And this is what I'm going to use as spacers in each 4 corners, just so I can set my shelves vertically when I screw them to the uprights. I do have some other scraps over here that once I get everything in place, I will do another 13-inch piece that will probably go in the middle. After that, I've got some scrap OSB, 1/2-inch OSB that I have had for like 5 or 6 years. They're 8-inch wide strips, so I'll be able to do the decking of the shelf with that. Now, I did buy some 2.5-inch screws. These are number 9, and they do have a split point on them, so they're kind of self-tapping. I'm not going to pre-drill. They are a T25 Torx bit drive, so, and it comes with a free bit. So obviously I need better light in here, and because of the very small space of this area, I don't know if I'm going to be able to film in here because of the size of this shelf and the size of my doorway. I can't assemble it out in the garage, so I'm going to have to try to assemble this thing in this room. I may set up the camera. I have a feeling I'm just going to be in the way of the camera. So this is turning out to be quite challenging. I've got the first shelf screwed in place on my uprights, and I think it might be a little easier from now on. But one thing that I didn't think about is I'm going to have 1/2 inch OSB on here, but I don't want to put the OSB on until I get the entire structure assembled, just because of my limited space. I need to be able to step into and out of these shelves. So my spacers are 1/2 inch too short. Okay, so you might hear the herd of elephants upstairs in my house, kids. So I've got, you probably can't see that, but I've got just some OSB, little strips of OSB, just brad nailed into the bottom of my spacers. So now when I sit here, I'll have the correct spacing. Okay, so I didn't have as much OSB as I thought I did. So on these bottom 2 shelves, full coverage, 2 strips, 8 inches wide, covers the full 16. The next shelf up, I used these scraps from the 8-foot lengths, or the extra 30 inches that I cut off of these, and cut them in half. So I've got 15-inch planks going side to side. This next shelf up, I had 1 extra 8-inch wide, and so I ripped it in half, and I just have some attached to the front and some attached to the back. Just there is a gap up here, but I'm mostly going to be using this shelf for like storage totes, so that just gives it a little extra area to sit on. And then finally the top one, I don't know that I'm going to do anything up there. I've got some sleds and snowboards and stuff like that. It'll all be overhead. Nobody's going to hit their head on it, so I can leave them hanging out. And it should span that 16-inch gap, no issues. All right, guys, so here it is, all finished up. I've got most of the stuff that I wanted in here transferred out of the garage. I'm still finding little things here and there while trying to organize the shop that I can move in here. This shelf here is still pretty empty, so lots of storage space still left. You can see I did mount my hardware cabinet, and so that's up out of the way. I do have some things hung inside these stud bays along this side, and I wired in a switch for a light. So great storage space. I need to figure out something to do as far as the door. I may end up building a door. For the time being, I may use a plastic sheet just to keep dust and stuff out of here. So I think that's it for this one. If you like what I do, make sure to give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, leave any questions or comments down below. I love hearing from you guys. Till next time, see you later.